If you are over 70 and considering traveling, it's essential to understand that the experience isn't as simple as it used to be. Traveling in your 70s comes with new challenges, both physically and mentally, that many seniors don't fully anticipate until they're already facing them. While the idea of exploring new destinations, meeting new people, and experiencing different cultures is exhilarating, the reality is that travel can become increasingly complex and dangerous as we age. As we get older, our bodies change in ways that can affect how we handle the physical, emotional, and logistical demands of traveling. In our younger years, a quick weekend getaway or a long flight might have been exciting and easy. But as we age, travel can bring a whole new set of challenges that require more careful planning and caution. Whether it's dealing with health risks, mobility challenges, or unexpected changes in the environment, these factors need to be considered before embarking on a trip. It's important to remember that the joy of traveling should not come at the expense of your safety, health, or well-being. The aim of this video is to highlight some of the most significant hidden dangers of traveling after 70. These risks are often overlooked or not fully appreciated until a crisis occurs. But with the right preparation and knowledge, you can travel safely and confidently. In this video, we'll cover critical areas that can impact seniors traveling abroad or even within their own country. We'll go over health risks, the physical toll travel takes on the body, financial pitfalls, and how to manage them effectively. By the end of this video, you'll have a solid understanding of what to expect and how to minimize these risks. Stay with us until the end, because we'll also share valuable tips and practical advice on how you can make your travel experiences safer and more enjoyable. When traveling after 70, one of the most significant concerns is the health risks involved. As we age, we naturally become more vulnerable to a wide range of health complications that might not have been as concerning in our younger years. Pre-existing health conditions like heart disease, high blood pressure, and respiratory problems can become much more dangerous when triggered by the stress and physical strain of traveling. Health risks like heart attacks, strokes, and respiratory issues can become serious threats to older travelers, especially in unfamiliar environments. Long flights, fluctuating altitudes, and exposure to different climates can all exacerbate these conditions. What might be a minor inconvenience or manageable condition at home can quickly escalate into a major health emergency when you're on the road. For example, seniors with heart conditions may not realize the strain that high-altitude travel places on the cardiovascular system. Cities like Denver, with its high elevation, or mountainous regions like the Alps, can put undue pressure on the heart, making it harder to breathe and increasing the risk of complications like shortness of breath, chest pain, and dizziness. These are conditions that can lead to a medical emergency if not addressed immediately, and it's important to consider how your body might react to changes in environment before setting off. Consider the story of David, a 73-year-old man with a history of high blood pressure. He traveled to the Swiss Alps with his family, excited for a scenic vacation. However, after just one day at a high elevation, David began experiencing severe chest pains. The symptoms were mild at first, but as the day went on, his condition worsened, and his family had to call for emergency medical services. Fortunately, David survived, but the experience left him shaken. Had he known the risks of traveling to high altitudes with his condition, he might have reconsidered the destination or taken preventive measures before the trip. Tip: if you have a pre-existing medical condition or have not traveled in a while, it's critical to consult your doctor well in advance of any trip. A health assessment will allow your doctor to evaluate any potential risks and offer advice on how to manage your condition while traveling. Additionally, ensure that you have all the necessary medications with you, including a copy of your prescriptions, especially if you're traveling abroad. While health risks related to pre-existing conditions are a major concern, another hidden danger of traveling after 70 is the risk of deep vein thrombosis, DVT. For those unfamiliar with DVT, it is a condition where blood clots form in the deep veins of the legs, often caused by sitting still for long periods. Long-haul flights where you're confined to a small seat for hours on end are a breeding ground for DVT. When the blood flow is restricted, clots can form, which can travel to the lungs and cause pulmonary embolisms, a life-threatening condition. Older adults are particularly vulnerable to DVT due to reduced circulation as we age, along with the fact that seniors are often less mobile. The risks increase when you're traveling long distances, whether by plane, bus, or car. Without movement, the blood in your legs can pool and form clots, which can lead to severe complications. Take the story of Margaret, a 72-year-old woman who was traveling from New York to London on a 7-hour flight. She was in great health, but during the flight, she spent most of her time sitting in her seat, watching movies and reading. She didn't get up to walk around as often as she should have. By the time she arrived in London, Margaret noticed swelling and discomfort in her right leg. What seemed like mild fatigue turned into excruciating pain, and she was rushed to a hospital. Doctors discovered that she had developed a deep vein thrombosis in her leg, which fortunately hadn't traveled to her lungs. Margaret's case was serious, and she spent several days in the hospital recovering. Had Margaret taken the time to move around during the flight and perhaps worn compression stockings, this painful and potentially dangerous situation could have been avoided. After her experience, she now makes it a priority to stay active and stretch during long flights, and she wears compression socks to ensure proper blood circulation. Tip: to reduce the risk of DVT, it's crucial to move around frequently during travel. If you're on a long flight, make sure to get up, stretch your legs, and walk up and down the aisles at regular intervals. Even if you're in a car or bus, try to stop every couple of hours to stretch your legs. Another important precaution is wearing compression stockings, which can help improve circulation and prevent swelling. Tip: if you take regular medications, it's essential to plan ahead. Here's how you can minimize the risks. 1. Carry enough medication for the entire trip, plus extra in case of unexpected delays. This includes not only your regular doses, but also any necessary backups, as you may not be able to refill prescriptions in foreign countries. 2. Keep medications in their original packaging. This not only ensures you take the correct medication, but also helps with customs or airport security checks. Many countries have strict regulations on the importation of prescription drugs, and having the original packaging with the prescription label can make the process smoother. It also prevents confusion in case your medications get mixed up with other travel items. 3. Set reminders. Use your phone's alarm or a medication reminder app to make sure you're taking your medication on time, especially when traveling through multiple time zones. There are also specialized pill dispensers that offer reminders for when it's time to take your medication. Create a medication schedule that accommodates the time zone change. Before your trip, consult your doctor about how to adjust your medication schedule when traveling across time zones. This might involve gradually shifting your medication schedule a few days before you leave, or taking a dose at a different time while you're on the road. Your doctor can help create a plan that minimizes disruption and ensures you stay on track. 5. Bring a doctor's note or medical records. If you're traveling internationally, it's a good idea to carry a letter from your doctor that explains your medical conditions and medications. This can be especially important if you're traveling to a country where your medication is not readily available. The letter can also be helpful in the case of an emergency, ensuring that medical staff understand your needs. 6. Have a backup plan for refills. Before traveling, check if your prescription is available at your destination. If not, ask your doctor for an alternative or a plan to get refills while abroad. Many countries also have medical tourism programs where you can access medications with a prescription from a local doctor. One of the often overlooked dangers of traveling after 70 is exposure to infections and germs. As we age, our immune systems naturally become weaker, which means our bodies are less equipped to fight off infections. When traveling, you'll be exposed to germs in airports, airplanes, public transportation, and even at your accommodation. These environments are breeding grounds for viruses, bacteria, and other contaminants. Example: consider John, a 71-year-old man who recently returned from a trip to Egypt. While he was careful about what he ate, he couldn't avoid the crowded airports or the public spaces where people from all over the world were coughing, sneezing, and touching common surfaces. Upon returning home, he developed a severe respiratory infection, which lasted for weeks and required multiple doctor visits. In the end, it was not just the trip itself, but the exposure to new strains of viruses that made his recovery difficult. To protect yourself, always wash your hands frequently, especially after touching public surfaces like doorknobs, elevator buttons, and armrests. If you're flying, consider wearing a mask in crowded areas or during the flight to reduce your exposure to airborne germs. Hand sanitizers are also a great tool to keep germs at bay when soap and water aren't available. Another critical consideration when traveling at an older age is travel fatigue. The physical toll of travel can be far greater for seniors than younger travelers may realize. Long flights, extended periods of sitting, changes in routine, and unfamiliar environments all contribute to a sense of exhaustion that's much harder to recover from as we age. Travel may seem like an exciting adventure, but the reality is that it can be incredibly taxing on the body, especially after 70. Many seniors experience lingering fatigue even after what might seem like a relatively short trip. After long flights, multiple time zone shifts, or busy travel schedules, it's common for seniors to feel physically drained for an extended period, sometimes weeks before their energy levels return to normal. This isn't just the usual post-travel tiredness that younger travelers might experience for a day or two. The recovery process takes much longer as we get older. As we age, our bodies naturally lose some of their stamina and endurance, which means the physical demands of travel can take a much greater toll. The combination of the stress of packing, dealing with the logistics of airports, and the strain of sitting for long periods in cramped seats can leave even the most seasoned traveler feeling exhausted long after the journey is over. Additionally, jet lag from traveling across time zones can make recovery even harder. When we're younger, a long trip may leave us tired for a day or two, but as we age, adjusting to different time zones and recovering from the disrupted sleep patterns becomes a more difficult task. Let's consider Margaret, a 72-year-old woman who went on a 2-week trip to Japan to visit her family. The flight was long, and she had to change time zones multiple times. Margaret had been looking forward to the trip for months, but once she arrived in Japan, she found that the jet lag hit her harder than she expected. The constant time zone changes disrupted her sleep schedule, leaving her awake at odd hours. She couldn't keep up with her usual routine, and despite all the excitement of being in a new country, Margaret felt tired and sluggish almost every day. She tried to push through the exhaustion, thinking it was just part of the travel experience. However, by the end of the week, she realized that the fatigue was more than just temporary. It was affecting her ability to enjoy the trip. She couldn't fully engage in sightseeing or connect with her family as she had planned. Even after the trip, the fatigue lingered. For the next few weeks, Margaret struggled to regain her usual energy levels. Her recovery took much longer than she anticipated, and she couldn't help but feel that the toll on her body could have been managed better. This is a common scenario for many seniors. The recovery time after travel can extend beyond the trip itself, affecting both physical and mental well-being. For seniors, fatigue can be a lingering issue that takes several days, if not weeks, to fully recover from. Tip: to minimize travel fatigue, it's essential to plan for rest days during your trip. Don't try to pack too many activities into a single day. Focus on relaxation and allow your body time to recover after a long flight or journey. Hydration, proper sleep, and balanced meals will also help restore energy levels and reduce the effects of fatigue. Before you embark on any trip, it's important to have a conversation with your family about your plans. Traveling alone after 70 can be more challenging than it seems, and having someone to assist you can make a huge difference. Not only will a companion help with navigation, carrying luggage, and ensuring safety, but they can also act as an extra set of eyes if anything goes wrong. If possible, always travel with a companion who can assist you in case of an emergency. While traveling after 70 can be an enriching and rewarding experience, it's important to understand that the risks are real and the challenges require more preparation than before. From health issues to mobility challenges, financial pitfalls, and exposure to new germs, traveling after 70 demands extra caution, awareness, and planning. But that doesn't mean you have to give up traveling. It simply means adjusting your approach. Focus on destinations that are closer to home or have strong healthcare infrastructure. Travel during off-peak times to avoid crowds, and always make sure you have the right medical coverage, mobility aids, and travel insurance. The key is to plan for a safe, comfortable journey that allows you to enjoy the experience without compromising your health or well-being. Thank you for watching. If you found this information valuable,